There are moments in life when the ground beneath your feet feels like it's giving way. Doors close, prayers seem delayed. Storms rage without warning, and in those moments the enemy whispers, "You've lost control." But I came to remind you today, you were never in control to begin with. God is. When the foundations shake, when the diagnosis comes, when the bank account runs low, when the people you trusted walk away, God is still sovereign. He is not pacing the floors of heaven wondering how your story will end. He is Alpha and Omega. Before your problem showed up, He had already written the solution. Some of us are exhausted because we're trying to manage what only God can master. You're losing sleep over something God has already scheduled for victory. You're stressing over a battle that heaven has already declared won. God is all powerful. That means there is no situation beyond His authority, no sickness beyond His reach, no broken relationship beyond His repair, no dream beyond His ability to resurrect. There are storms that don't send warnings. They don't knock politely on the door of your life. They crash in. One phone call changes everything. One moment shifts your stability. One unexpected turn leaves you questioning what you thought was secure. But even in the middle of the storm, God's sovereignty has not been canceled. Sovereignty means He reigns. It means He rules. It means nothing moves without His awareness. The wind may howl, but it cannot outrun His authority. The waves may rise, but they cannot rise higher than His command. What feels out of control to you has already been measured by Him. When storms hit, our first instinct is panic. We try to fix, to force, to figure it out. But storms were never meant to be controlled by human hands. They are reminders that we are not the source of power. God is. And the same God who allows the storm sets the boundaries for it. You may feel surrounded, but you are not abandoned. You may feel shaken, but you are not destroyed. Storms reveal what is anchored and what is not. And when your faith is anchored in a sovereign God, the storm may shake you, but it cannot sink you. God's sovereignty means the storm has an assignment. It is not random. It is not wasted. It is working something in you that comfort never could. It is strengthening muscles you didn't know you had. It is deepening roots that will hold you steady in season to come. The storm is loud, but God is greater. The storm is visible, but God is higher. And no matter how fierce the wind blows, it still answers to Him. Trusting God when life feels uncertain is one of the greatest challenges of faith. It is easy to trust Him when doors are opening, when prayers are being answered quickly, when everything seems to be flowing in your favor. But real trust is revealed when the answers don't come, when the path is unclear, when you cannot trace what He is doing. Uncertainty has a way of shaking confidence. It makes you question what you believe. It makes you wonder if God really sees you, if He really hears you, if He is really moving on your behalf. The mind starts racing, creating scenarios that drain your peace and weaken your resolve. But faith was never built on certainty in circumstances. Faith is built on confidence in God's character. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but you know who holds tomorrow. You may not see the full picture, but God does. He is not limited by your perspective. He is not confined to your timeline. While you are trying to figure it out, He is already working it out. Trust requires surrender. It means releasing the need to control every detail. It means choosing to believe that even when the road bends, it still leads somewhere purposeful. Uncertainty does not mean God has stepped away. Often, it means He is stretching your faith beyond what feels comfortable. When life feels unstable, trust becomes your anchor. When answers are delayed, trust becomes your strength. When the future looks foggy, trust becomes your vision. You don't have to understand every step to take the next one. You don't have to solve the entire puzzle to move forward in obedience. Sometimes trust is simply waking up each day and deciding that God is still faithful. Even when the evidence around you feels incomplete, there is no problem that intimidates God. What overwhelms you does not overwhelm Him. What shocks you does not surprise Him. What feels impossible in your hands is completely manageable in His. Divine power is not limited by human limitation. It does not shrink in the face of difficulty. It does not retreat when obstacles appear. We measure problems by what we can handle. God measures them by who He is, and He is all-powerful. That means the mountain in front of you is small compared to the God behind you, the diagnosis, the debt, the delay, the disappointment. None of it has authority over His ability. Sometimes the size of the problem distorts our vision. We stare at it so long that it becomes bigger in our minds than God Himself. Fear magnifies the obstacle. Anxiety rehearses the worst case scenario. Doubt whispers that this time might be different. But divine power has never failed, never weakened, never lost a battle. God does not need favorable conditions to move. He does not require perfect timing according to your clock. He specializes in stepping into hopeless situations and turning them into testimonies. He takes what looks final and rewrites it. He takes what looks broken and restores it. He takes what looks dead and breathes life into it. The problem may be real, but so is His power. The struggle may be intense, but so is His strength. When you place your issue next to His authority, perspective shifts. You begin to see that what stands against you is temporary, but the power working for you is eternal. You may not have the resources. You may not have the influence. You may not have the answers. But you have access to a God whose power has no limits, no boundaries, no expiration. Delay has a way of testing your faith. When you pray and nothing seems to move, when you wait and nothing appears to change, it is easy to assume that God has said no. Silence can feel like rejection. Waiting can feel like punishment. But delay is not denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it will not happen at all. God's timing is not careless. It is calculated. While you are focused on the calendar, He is focused on preparation. There are things He is aligning behind the scenes that you cannot see. There are doors He is arranging, hearts He is shifting, circumstances He is positioning. If He gave it to you too soon, you might mishandle it. If He moved too quickly, you might miss the lesson. Waiting stretches you. It deepens your patience. It strengthens your endurance. It forces you to rely on Him rather than on immediate results. In the waiting season, your character is being refined. Your motives are being purified. Your faith is being solidified. We often want instant answers, instant breakthroughs, instant relief. But growth rarely happens instantly. Roots grow underground before fruit appears above ground. Progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. What feels like inactivity is often divine activity beneath the surface. Delay also builds anticipation. It teaches you to value what is coming. It prepares you to carry the weight of the blessing. When the promise finally arrives, you will be stronger, wiser, more grounded than when you first asked for it. God has not forgotten you. He has not misplaced your request. He has not overlooked your tears. The waiting room is not a place of abandonment. It is a place of preparation, of development, of quiet transformation. Pressure has a way of exposing what comfort tries to hide. When everything is easy, you don't always know what you're made of. But when the weight increases, when expectations rise, when challenges tighten around you, something deeper begins to surface. Pressure is not sent to crush you, it is allowed to shape you. Gold is refined in fire, oil is produced through crushing. Strength is built through resistance. The very thing that feels unbearable is often the tool God is using to develop endurance inside you. Without pressure, potential remains dormant. Without resistance, growth remains shallow. You may feel stretched beyond your limits. Responsibilities piling up, opposition pressing in, doubt whispering that you cannot handle it. But pressure reveals capacity. It shows you that you are stronger than you thought, more resilient than you believed, more equipped than you realized. What you thought would break you is actually building you. Pressure also clarifies purpose. It forces you to prioritize. It removes distractions. It burns away what is unnecessary. In seasons of ease, it is easy to drift. In seasons of pressure, focus sharpens. Vision becomes clearer. Dependence on God becomes deeper. The discomfort you feel is not wasted. It is carving discipline into your character. It is producing patience in your spirit. It is teaching you how to stand when everything around you is unstable. The weight you carry today is strengthening the muscles you will need tomorrow. Pressure does not mean God has stepped away. It often means He trusts you with more. It means there is something inside you worth developing. And while it may feel intense, it is also intentional, shaping you into someone who can carry greater responsibility, greater influence, greater purpose. Resting in God's perfect control is not weakness, it is strength under submission. It is the decision to quiet your soul when everything around you is loud. It is choosing peace over panic, surrender over struggle, trust over tension. Rest is not the absence of responsibility, it is the refusal to carry what was never yours to hold. So many people are weary not because life is hard, but because they are trying to be their own savior, trying to fix every outcome, trying to predict every turn, trying to force every door open. But when you truly believe that God is in control, you stop striving in areas where only He has authority. Rest requires humility. It admits that His wisdom is higher. His vision is clearer. His power is greater. You release the illusion that everything depends on you and embrace the truth that everything ultimately depends on Him. That shift changes how you breathe, how you think, how you respond. When you rest in His control, anxiety loses its grip. Fear loses its volume. You no longer react to every change as if it is a threat. You begin to see that what happens is filtered through hands that love you. Even when you do not understand the process, you trust the one who governs it. Rest does not mean you stop praying. It means you pray and leave it there. It does not mean you stop working. It means you work without worrying about the outcome. It is an inner calm that says, God has this, even when I don't. There is freedom in knowing you are not responsible for holding the universe together. There is peace in realizing the same God who sustains the world is sustaining you, steadying your steps, guarding your future. So after everything you've faced, everything you've questioned, everything that tried to shake your confidence, let this truth settle deep in your spirit. God is all powerful and He's in control. The storm didn't catch Him off guard. The delay didn't surprise Him. The pressure didn't weaken Him. And the uncertainty didn't remove His authority. Every chapter of your life is still under His sovereignty. You may not know how it will work out, but you can know that it will. You may not see the way, but He already does. What feels chaotic to you is ordered in His hands. What feels like a setback is positioning you for something greater. So release the fear, release the need to control every detail, release the anxiety about tomorrow, stand firm in the confidence that the God who holds the universe is holding you. The battle is not yours alone. The outcome is not left to chance. God is all powerful. He's in control. And because He's in control, you can walk forward in faith, in peace, and in bold expectation of victory.